your life was a movie and there was 3 acts in your life, how would you sum up the first, second, and third?
Probably dumb, dumber, and dumbest.
That's the simple.
The crew for the journey: Phil Stubbs, Chief Lifeguard, City of San Clemente; Mark Martinson, fisherman, champion surfer; Mike Hoover, mountaineer, filmmaker, and the photographer on the trip; and myself, Bruce Brown, head boat tester.
I was born in San Francisco, and my parents moved to Long Beach, and people had these paddle boards on the docks in Naples, and I started, junior lifeguard and swimming across the bay and going, out to the ocean part and body surfing and riding pillowcases and all that stuff, and then eventually into the surfboard stuff. Got into motorcycles in the 60s, I think.
To some people, a motorcycle is work, or a way to get to work, or a way to get away from it all to the solitude of the open country. A motorcycle is whatever you want to make it. Turn it on, you can give yourself a real thrill.
Ride going, this is really fun. And then the rest of the Dana Point crew, same deal. Got into that, Hobie and Grubby and the Hoffmans, and they started riding and getting good at it, and more motorcycles and bigger ones and this and that. And then that eventually we'd go to Ascot every Friday night for the races. And when I go down the pits and look at those guys, totally not what I thought. I thought kind of longshoreman type guys are little jockeys. And really nice guys and all that stuff, and I thought, you know what, maybe, because people going, gotta make another movie. Well, I didn't want to do another surf movie, so I thought, well, why don't I just try do that? And so I called up, met with Steve McQueen, who I didn't know, and said, I want to make this movie. I didn't know him at all. I went up and, I told him what I wanted to do, and he said, well, what do you want me to do? I said, well, finance it. And he goes, I make movies, man. I don't fund them. And I said, well, I want you to be in my movie then. Anyway, he called the next day and said, okay, man, let's go for it.
Thousands of riders compete in motocross in the United States. One of them is Steve McQueen. On the starting line, he's not an actor out for a ride. He's 100% motorcycle racer.
And it was just a great partnership. They'd send us a check whenever we needed it, and it was great to work with. Well, his image was one thing, and he was just a real caring, nice guy.
Tell us a little bit about working with Mickey Dora.
I never did.
Oh, you never did? As I was saying that to you, I was going, huh.
Dora, to me, he was a sellout, because he was all this surfing purity and all this stuff, and then he's the one that's in the beach blanket bingo kind of movies, and I'm thinking, what a jerk. I mean, he's talking out both sides of his mouth. He showed up one time with Nat Young up the driveway. Geez, Mickey, where I've been your neighbor. And I went, really? Whereabouts? Lompoc Penitentiary. What'd you do? Nothing. Okay. You can't come in the house, you'd probably steal something, so. Yeah, well, all the Dana Point crew, which they now call the Dana Point Mafia, but we all just try to figure out something to do so we could stay, in Orange County where we could surf. And so Hobie had the surfboards, and Grubby with the foam, and Severson with the magazine, and he made movies for a while too. Hoffman's with the fabric, which turned out to be, all the surf wear fabrics. And then Phil Edwards and Munoz, and we just all wanted to be there. And people would tell me, like, well, you ought to move to Hollywood if you want to be successful making movies. And I go, yeah, I'd rather deliver milk in Dana Point than live in Hollywood. So, you know, everybody turned out to be sort of successful, but it wasn't because we were looking at being successful. We're just looking at you know, living in an environment that we like. So I think we're all just looking for the environment to live in.
This is Bruce Brown. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my film.